Hey guys, it's Nima Day, that African butterfly. I'm here with week 2 of my weekly vlog for Weight Loss Wednesday. The vlog series is Losing Weight Sucks because it does. Um, this week was actually a pretty good week. I worked out a little bit at home in Delaware before I came home to upstate New York. That's where I am right now. I'm here for the week because it's Thanksgiving. Ugh. That's sort of a minefield in and of itself. Luckily, we're actually not doing anything major for Thanksgiving. My mom has to work, so we're just making jollof rice, which is a really popular and amazing Liberian dish. And we're just keeping it chill. My sister and her husband and the baby are coming over tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. And we're just gonna have dinner, and then they're off to his family's house where they're doing like the big Thanksgiving. But I'm not going to any big Thanksgiving dinner, so I don't really have to worry about that unless someone wants to invite me over. But no, so it's gonna be pretty chill and casual, which I'm totally down for because I really just wanted to come home this week to relax, get some work done, hang out with my mom. As far as working out, I've worked out a little bit since I've been here, which has been good. Yesterday I did some Zumba, which I always love a good dance workout. Mom joined in a little bit because she cannot stop herself if she hears music. But it was pretty great because she didn't realize I was recording. Because usually when I work out, I'll put it on my Instagram stories. And she didn't realize I was recording, so I got some good footage of her busting a move. She thinks it's hilarious, so that's cool. Today I woke up and my back was hurting, so I did some yoga, which was nice. Got some stretching in, and it actually made it feel a lot better. And I still broke a sweat even though I was doing yoga, but that's how it is. I think people tend to, or at least I tend to think like, oh, yoga, namaste, peace and calm. But if you're doing it, especially if you do yoga for fat loss or anything, you're still gonna sweat and there's a lot of movement. So it's been a pretty good week. Let's see. I have a few more days here and then I go home, and the next week's gonna be pretty busy. So this coming week will probably be about the same. Hoping to work out at least 4 days. Let's try to make that goal of doing at least 4 days before next week, and continuing to eat healthy. The nice thing about being home is that I've been eating breakfast, which I like breakfast, but normally when I'm home in Delaware, like on the go, it's like, oh, Dunkin' Donuts, a cup of coffee, and then I'm hungry until later, which is almost, I guess, like intermittent fasting, but not really, at least not a purposeful intermittent fasting. So I like when I'm home because I make myself my eggs with my spinach and my onions, and it's delicious. It reminds me of when I lived in Florida because I would start breakfast like that, especially when I used to work the late shift. So I really need to make that sort of vow to myself to take the time to make breakfast because I enjoy it and it's a good way to start my day. As far as what I want to talk about this week, being home, I think is a great time to talk about weight loss and family, which sometimes it's great and sometimes it's awful. So my experience with it has always been, my family's always been really supportive. For the most part, like growing up and stuff, I talked about it a little bit last time, like diet started in high school and things. It was really more not like, oh, you're so fat, but just like, let's get you healthy and let's get you smaller because smaller is better, and I've always been chunky. But I will say, like, once my weight like really blew up, began the talks with my mother, I'm worried, I'm concerned, and I'm like, yeah, I understand. And I get it. It was always from a place of love. But I do have to say that I think it's important to realize like what it is your family needs from what it is you need from your family. So whether you're a person with a family member struggling with their weight or whether you're struggling with your weight, like sometimes you need that. You need your family to be the voice of reason and we're prompting you on and you go you. And then sometimes you need them to just be like, chill. And so for me, it was hard also because at the time I was living in Florida. So I was only coming home once a year, maybe twice a year. So we'd have these conversations, but when you only see the person once a year and then you have that conversation once a year, it becomes every time I see you, you're talking to me about this. And it was literally to the point where I was getting like anxiety about coming home, which is awful because I love my family. Like I adore my mother. I love my brother and sister, my step siblings who I've gotten closer with now. I love them all, but which made it even worse that it was no longer becoming this like joyful place for me to look forward to going to. Is this place that I would get like anxiety about going home, which is awful. Nobody wants to feel like that. And I was to the point where I just wanted to get off the plane and be like, just have the conversation with me now so I can, enjoy the rest of this trip and not be, worried that you're going to talk about it. And really what it was is because, and people feel it in different parts of their weight loss or where they are in just their weight. For me, it wasn't until I got like much, much bigger that I really felt it. But like, going out is like, it's hard sometimes. I feel like people look at you sometimes and people are judging, and I feel it constantly. Like I work past it to have a life and exude that confidence, but it really is actually difficult for me sometimes because I really do feel like people are just constantly looking and judging me constantly. So for me, what I need for my family is to be my safe space. Like I need that to be the one place where I don't feel like I'm being judged because of how I look, like where I can just feel comfortable and happy. And luckily I also have that like with my best friends. My best friends, my girls in New York and my Florida friends, but I really need that for my family, and I just wasn't feeling it. And it was so hard for me because they're, for me, the one place where I should always feel that. And it wasn't that I wasn't accepted. I totally was. And it was always from a place of love. And I knew that. But it was like the one time in my life where it was like, you're not giving me what I need. And what I need is for you to be my safe space right now. I finally had to get to a point where I had to like tell my sister to talk to mom, to tell her like to stop having these conversations with me or I'm not coming home anymore. Because that's the level of anxiety I would feel leading up to going home. That's an awful feeling, especially when you're going to see essentially your favorite people. So she had that conversation, and essentially it stopped since then, which is good because, like my mom, she's such a great cheerleader when I want to talk to her about that stuff. Because there are times where I do want to talk about it, where I'm pumped up and I'm like, let's talk about it from a positive, but I don't need to know that you're worried or you're concerned. Like I'm worried and concerned, and I have enough of it on my shoulders dealing with it and worrying about it that I don't need to have whatever stress or anxiety or just things that you feel about it on my shoulders as well. So I think sometimes you just have to have that conversation with your family, like the back off conversation. Or if you're a chicken like me, you have the conversation with your sister to tell your mom. You say, please tell her because I don't want to, or I don't know how to tell her without flipping out. And I knew we were at the limit when once I literally yelled at my mom, and I never raised my voice to her, but she started to talk to me about something and I literally lost my shit. So I was like, okay, we can't keep doing this. But since then it's been good. And, I think, like I said, whether you're the person losing weight or you have a family member, like you just have to be respectful of what it is that they need. I promise you the person that's overweight, they know they're overweight. They don't need you to tell them. They got it. They understand. And they either love it and they're like, yes, look at me, fat and fabulous. In which case, let them do them. They have to live with the consequences of it. And if they feel good, let them feel good, because it's freaking hard to feel good when you look this way and when you feel like you're being judged all the time. So if you know someone who's been able to work past that and just be fabulous and wonderful and feel good about themselves, let them. Don't shame them on it. Or if you have someone who's trying to work on it, be supportive for them in the way that they need you to be supportive for them. And for me, I have different things that I need from different members of my family. I do have some family members where I'm like, hey, help me stay on track, help keep me going. And then I have family members where I'm like, listen, you're my safe space. I just need you to be like warm and fuzzy and not talk to me about these things unless I bring it up to you. If I bring it up to you, we can talk about it. If not, let it go. And I think people just need to be respectful of what it is you need, and that you need to be clear and articulate with them about what it is you need from them. That's really it. Just thinking about a lot about that. Just being home. And of course, it's always the extended family who has something to say, and they're like people on the street with something to say, and we'll talk about that another day, but them just ignore. So, I'd like to hear from you guys. What are some things, like, how do you interact with your family with this? Is it something you talk about? Is it something you never talk about? Have you had to have the leave me alone conversation? Or do you embrace them getting in your face about it? I'm always curious about, the different dynamics and different family structures. But anyways, I hope everyone has a fabulous Thanksgiving with your family. I hope you have a good time and a great week, and I will be back next Wednesday. All right, talk to you later. Like and don't forget to leave your comments below about what you want me to discuss next week. Bye, guys.